everybody. I want to take a minute to thank all the viewers that's watched my channel. I was surprised that I got as many views as I did. That was pretty nice for me. Anyway, been watching the news like always. But first I had a dream last night that was so real. It was like a Technicolor dream. I always call them my real dreams when they're like Technicolor. And when I start to have a dream like that, even when I'm in the dream state, it's like I get tapped on the shoulder and I'm being told, pay attention, pay attention. This is a Technicolor dream or whatever. Doesn't really say Technicolor dream, but it's like, pay attention. And when I feel that coming through, I always take what I call third person or fly on the wall. It's like, I want to look down over this. So, it was so strange because I've never really been a fan of parades. And people were standing on both sides of the road getting ready to watch this parade. And it was really strange. It wasn't anybody I really recognized from the GOP, but it was like both sides of the street were like the Republicans from the Senate, or maybe in some of them from Congress too, probably. But they're standing there getting ready to watch this parade. And all of a sudden, some people could see it coming. And they were so far away to start with, I couldn't see it. But as they got closer, I seen it was just President Trump and some of the members, well, his immediate staff. And they were walking up the street, and all of a sudden, all the children that were watching this parade started tugging on their parents' pant legs and bumping them in the shoulder if they were up bigger kids. And they kept saying, the president has no clothes. And this goes back to the emperor has no clothes, I'm sure. But I woke up and I thought, boy, you're like having cartoon dreams. But the more I thought of it today, the more I think that was my spirit guide, Rennick, telling me that there's going to be a lot of Republicans falling away from him in the not too distant future, pretty quickly. So anyway, with that, I wasn't going to read anything on President Trump because everybody else reads on him. But anyway, I just thought, well, just try it and see what comes up, especially after all this stuff on TV tonight. So, use the Oval Office to make campaign contributions. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, just about the time I think he cannot go any lower. He does. He does. And, so, let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we can turn it down here. And see if I can get it where it's not a bright light in there, but still a light bright enough. minute till I turn my first card up here to see if it can be seen. Sorry about that, but this is a new thing for me, so it's going to take me a little while to get it in there. Oh my goodness, first card up is the Ace of Swords. Now, I don't know why, but that to me that's not Trump, that's Mike Pence. I don't know why he's the first one out of the bucket here, but that's Mike Pence standing there with that look like he seems to get like sorry about that. That look like he seems to get when he's standing there and doo-doo up to his cheeks, swearing up and down that everything Trump says is true in fact when he knows it's a lie. But anyway, that's what came up for the first one. Second card up is the King of Swords. Oh, how about that? How about that? So that's Trump and him sitting together. And that's in the present. So is this something that was going on just a little while ago in Mike Pence's head, and now this is the present, and here's Trump. Okay. The challenge is trying to see how much trouble they can stir up to get their, for their look over here, look over there, look over here, instead of where people really need to be paying attention. It's like just trying to see if they can stir turmoil up over this border stuff. Saying there's a crisis when there isn't. Believe me, I live right on the border in San Diego. No, not right on it, but close to it. And I grew up on the border 100 miles from here, and there's no problems at the border. So, and then for the future, there's the Republican House burning down. So by using this approach, they're not helping themselves at all. It's like they've got a shovel and they're just digging themselves in deeper. And they're going to end up burning their own house down. It's not like it's going to fall down because of somebody else. They're going to burn their own house down at the rate they're going. And here's the Queen of Swords. Boy, look at all these swords. How about that? And she's, this is like in the recent past, she was there for Trump. So that's got to be Melania. I don't know what she's doing there, but maybe we'll find out. But anyway, she's there in the past, recent past. And this is what's on his mind at the current time. We got the Seven of Swords, the Thief card. I feel like he's trying to, from the cards, that he's trying to figure out how he's going to get out of office and keep any of his money. I don't think he's worried about his dignity, because I don't think he's tuned in enough to humanity to understand what it is. But he's worried about how in the world he's going to get out of office and get away with any of his money, although I have a feeling he didn't have too much cash on hand money when he went in there, but he's probably got a lot now that he's stuck back with all this undercover stuff. And the challenge is money. That's what's next. The challenge is money. That's what he's trying to do. He's thinking that, worried because this is the least money he could imagine getting out of there with, and he's afraid, really afraid that all of his lawyers and everything before he's through is going to cost him so much, there's not going to be nothing left. And here he is again, the Five of Cups. The emotional, tore up, broken down king. That's in the future cards. The next card up is the High Priestess. So he did have some people around him that would give him good advice. He appeared to not have taken it, but he did have people around him in the near past that would give him good advice, but it looks like they're gone. They're gone out of there. And this is another thing. I also think that may be Nancy Pelosi, and I think he's afraid of her coming in and taking over the House. And in the present, he is definitely panicking. He knows he's got to do something. It's the Two of Swords. He knows he has to make a decision. He knows he has to change something. But he's so busy trying to get attention, he can't even concentrate on what it is he needs to change. And he lives in such a fantasy world, he thinks that everything he's done is wonderful and perfect. It's like if somebody would have thought this political story up that's going on in America now for a book or a movie, nobody would have believed it. They'd say that's too stupid to believe. Something like that could never happen. Well, hello. And the challenge to this decision is he's just trying to figure out, it's the Five of Coins, he's trying to figure out how to keep any of that money and seeing if he can sneak it out the back door or even keep a hold of a little bit of it for his family or something if he ends up in prison. And I know he's probably never thought of prison, but somewhere in his mind that's got to be there, because this is the challenge. And his future is the Hermit. I used to read cards on Trump a lot about a year ago, and the Hermit wasn't coming up for the future at that time. In the last 2 or 3 months, if I've read on him, the Hermit's come up a lot for his future. So either he's going to be, we don't exile our president, so he won't be exiled, but he's going to be living a very lonely, ostracized life compared to what he's lived for all these years. So that's what's going to be going on with him. I want to draw I shuffled these about 20 times right before I started, but I'm going to cut it here. I want to see a clarifier. Why Mike Pence in here first? What's going on there? Oh, okay. The White House comes up. So it's like in the recent past, he had his eye on the White House. Then we have the desperate man with a gun to his head. But he knows now that he'll never be in the White House. Even if Trump goes out of there, he's not going to be in line. He's into this right up to his little rosy cheeks. And then I want to draw a clarifier for this Hermit down here, because he keeps coming up in Trump's readings when I've done them. And this is supposedly like the bashful secret lover. So he's also thinking that if he does have to go into isolation or get off by himself, if somebody that he has in mind or having some kind of communications with, if she's going to be able to go with him or even want to go with him. And the next clarifier is the paperwork being burned as a deal is made between a man and a woman. So I feel pretty much like maybe Melania, that's why she showed up in here over here, is she's going to leave him as soon as his presidency is over. So that's what I see in there for tonight. I hope we got them all in there. I've got to get a different type of camera set up. But that's what I see in these cards in front of me. And if you've been watching this, thank you for watching. This is a lot of fun, and I really got thrilled today because I heard on the news that the Supreme Court did fine for Mueller or whatever. Not really, he wasn't on it, but the company that was trying to say that they didn't have to show their records or go up in front of the courts and stuff lost. So they're going to have to bring all that stuff out, and that's going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait to see that stuff. Thank you.